Welcome back to the podcast. This is the 19th episode. It's crazy how that I'm like 19 episodes in, I still don't have an established location. And I've changed the angle every single time. I think when I started today, I tried maybe 19, 17 different positions. Pause. I was 10 feet that way. Sorry, I don't know why I'm pointing the mic. I was 10 feet that way. I was 10 feet to the left. But yeah, I'm old now. I'm 25. And I wanted to reflect a little bit because 25 is a quarter of a decade. I don't want to say that. People are just going to use that against me. Where did I think I would be at 25? Where did I think I would be at 25? When I was younger, I always told myself I would be successful and have a house and have a bunch of cars, because I'll put the photo up here. Here's me with when I was a kid sitting with a line of cars. I always thought I would just be famous and rich. I never told myself why, because I was a kid. Maybe it was race car driver. I don't know. What are 3 main things you've learned about yourself? Personality, character flaws, and how you function. So, my personality has developed a lot over time, and the crazy thing is that you can change your personality as you live, and you can, that sounds kind of deceptive, but that's not how I mean it. I mean, if you decide one day that you don't like something or don't like a type of person, you can just be that. Or you can decide that you like someone that's more outspoken and more extroverted, while you like to be introverted. So my personality has adapted so much over time that it's become a lot more mature and not as needy as I have been. I used to beg at people's feet, in a negative aspect of my personality. And then in the positive part of my personality, I used to be a server, like a servant type, where my act of love is giving. And now, I don't know why. I hope that's not a train. I don't know why, but now I'm just not that way. I like giving to people randomly. I still it's one of my favorite things to do, but I don't do it as much anymore. And being super nice to people feels weird and feels cringe for some reason. I thought it's how I grew up, but I used to grow up giving to people and giving people compliments. So I don't know why it shifted from being positive and giving compliments to only giving stuff when they meant more, I give gifts now to people when I think of them and when it means more, because I personally, I think less is more, and it does show. Even if people don't say it, they think of it subconsciously, damn, he was thinking of me, that's cool. But yeah, I think my personality is a lot better than it used to be, and I think I have developed. Obviously I'm not 25, you think 25 is a huge old number, but I still feel like I'm 20. That's the issue, is I feel like I'm 20. The spot I was in when I was 20, the only difference between me now and then is just a little more money and a little less a little more careless. I feel like I'm more careless now. When someone doesn't give me the time of day, whatever. You can take that however you want, whether you take it as defeated or just learned that I know my position. Anyways, I do like where I am now. I'm 90% happy with my personality. I still have a lot to work on. My character flaws. I've talked about it before. I get really angry really fast. I don't talk about it that much. Like I said 2 episodes ago, I like to I don't know. I still build up anger in my head, whether it's towards me or towards someone else. I never act out on it. Yeah, I would never hurt anyone because of my anger. I've definitely hurt myself because of my anger. But I think I am past that now. I have some moments where it's close. Sorry, security is rolling up. I've had some moments where it's close, but I think I'm good now. I think I'm chilling. But I wouldn't say that as a character flaw. Let's move on. How I function. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I go pee. And that's normal. Who doesn't pee in the morning? But I also take my vitamins. I take zinc, vitamin B12, which activates the zinc, and then what's it called? I'm under pressure right now. Magnesium glycinate. Actually, I try to take that at night. I lied. Anyways, I take that at night, and it usually makes me feel better in the morning. I'm gullible when it comes to vitamins and whatnot. I read a bunch of stuff on the internet. I research, and I believe them. So there's multiple types of magnesium, and glycinate seems to be the one that aligns with me the most. I believe what it does, it's better for sleep and regeneration. I don't know. 3 things you live by. I wrote them down because I knew I forget them. Don't think, act. Something I still don't live by very well, but I promote a lot, and I tell people, just don't think about it, do it. I had a friend in high school. His name was Elias, and he's very out there. He's just I wouldn't even say he's oblivious. He's just like, he would act with no thought, and to the untrained eye, that's not really a good thing. But if you knew him, it's just like, he had no fear. No fear. He would run up our hiking trail while we're trying not to roll our ankles. He would just keep running. He would run down it, and we'd be trying not to roll our ankles on the rocks. And it never really affected him. Maybe he tripped once or twice, but the one time it did affect him is he did a backflip off a tree. Keep in mind, he's capable of backflips, but he did backflip off the tree, and he knocked himself out because it was wet. So, but anyways, this kid, he could walk up to anyone. He could be told to say anything, and he would, with no fear, say something to that person. And his mindset was always like, I'd always ask him, like, dude, I don't know how you did that. How could you talk to him? And I'd be so scared. He goes, so, why does it matter? And he'd always had this funny attitude, like, so, okay. What? And I've kind of pushed that into my way of thinking. I find it in other people too. One of my close friends, Austin, is the same way. He's just a lot more quiet. It's always the okay attitude, like, okay, and like, so what? Someone pisses on me or says something that they don't like about me, so what? But that's a huge part of my personality. Having patience is something I live by. It's very, very hard for me. I need to have more patience with myself, because I've gotten to the point where I break myself all the time, and I realize that it's not super healthy for me to be pushing myself past a point of breaking. So I want more patience, not just with others, but with myself. And patience with others actually does help a lot, because if they say something stupid or say something ignorant, you need to look back at what they said and think, maybe it's not malicious. Maybe their first impression of what you said was something different. Like, oh, you, like, in my head, I'm like, sorry, everybody knows. I'm like, they don't understand what I'm saying already. Why? And I get very impatient, and I don't know. Yeah, it's just being patient with people helps a lot. And then this patience always kind of moves on to other things. Like if you move it into your real life and you're doing something solo or independent, and you're like, sorry, I got so much, it's cold out. I'm like, I can't do this job fast enough. I can't draw this fast enough. I can't write these notes fast enough. Deep breath, slow down, have some patience. I wrote down kindness will get you a long way, but that's not true at all. You know, assholes live forever, and that'll always stand true because they push people out of their way. They make sure that they always come first, and that they're gone before karma can get them. And this only stands true for so long. I do believe kindness gets people hurt more often than it does help themselves, but that's okay. And kinder people tend to be happier people over time, because kinder people sometimes can be really sad. But if you force that mindset that everything is great, today's the best day ever, every day, eventually you'll believe it. They say there's not one true secret to happiness, and I believe there is. It's an F-35A. So if anyone has $80 million, I'd like the one that's flying overhead right now. No, but the secret to happiness is that less is more. If you simplify things, you are able to create less stress, less tension, and less things to think about. And the more you simplify something, whether it's your diet, your sleeping schedule, your outfits, your words, even if you talk less, it gets you further, because silence says a lot and lets people think for themselves. And also simplifying your diet, instead of freaking out and trying to think of what exact minerals and vitamins to consume and what vitamin is in every single piece of food you're eating, simplifying by red meats, or just even more simple than that, protein, vegetables, water. I mean, that's very, very simple, but just getting all the basic stuff and then figuring it out from there. So simple's more. So just eating well, exercising, sleeping well. So that's a drug in itself. I've already talked about that. And don't consume substance. I know a lot of people that consume substances. And I'm sure you can live like that, but I do believe long-term effects promotes an inefficient lifestyle for your mental health and your physical health. And even if the drug isn't necessarily bad for you, or the substance, whether it's alcohol or weed or whatever it is, they all have bad side effects. Even energy drinks or caffeine, same shit. Anyways, enough about that. I don't really want to talk about that too much. It's crazy. I'm sorry, I wrote this down. Crazy to me that you can learn so much at 25 that seemed like common sense. Yeah, every day I'm learning more stuff, And like I said, I feel like I'm 20. I feel like I'm not even riding this high, but like I feel like I'm still trying to learn things that I was learning when I was 20. So I feel like I haven't learned it yet, because like, why didn't I learn this when I was 20, when I started oh, there's a dog. Whose fucking dog is that? What the? Oh, there's people. Like, why am I so stressed about what people think about me? And I started thinking about this when I was like 18. And I'm 25, dude. And I'm still thinking about it. Why do I stress about these people walking towards me with like 3 dogs? I don't. I do. What do you think about the fit? Is it crazy? I can't tell you how happy I am and how comfortable I'm getting with this podcast, but not having that much to say kind of sucks. Like, Theo Vaughn is really good at it. He just rambles and rambles, but not having a guest is really daunting. I wanted to have my sister on again, but, well, that will conclude for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for looking at the new angle. If you have something to say it. And if you need help, please ask. Please ask. This is a very rough episode for me, internally, but yes, I'm working on being a better externally happy guy. Oh my god, see, the sunset is so gorgeous right now. Look at that. Sorry, I don't know how to work my camera. Isn't that crazy? Anyways, thank you for hopping on today. Not my last hurrah. I'm just trying to figure out who the next guest is. So, if you want to be on, I will talk to anyone.